Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jane and I'm a second year medical student. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 ways that you may be sabotaging yourself before exams. So let me tell you about a good friend of mine in undergrad. She always worked really hard for her classes, she studied hard, and she made sure that she kept up with the exam material. But when it came down to taking exams and getting our grades back, she was always really disappointed with the results. It seemed like the hard work she put in didn't really equate to the grades that were coming out. And that was really disappointing for her. Now let me take a step back and say, your grades do not define you. But I can really sympathize with, when you work really hard and you're not getting the results that you expect. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to better take exams. I think these are things that are commonly overlooked when people are giving studying tips. There is, of course, on the one hand, studying hard and mastering the class material, but on the other hand, there are test-taking strategies that are important to master as well. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is not getting enough sleep. I think this is the #1 mistake that people make. When you're taking an exam, your brain needs to be alert and ready to solve problems, ready to bring back information that you've studied. But when you're running on very little sleep, or if you pull an all-nighter, most likely you won't be as alert or awake, and you're more apt to make silly mistakes when going through the exam. Another follow-up to this is if you're used to studying at night, maybe you're a night owl and you like to stay up until 3 a.m. to study, but your exam is at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, most likely you're not going to get a full night's sleep. Or when you wake up early, your body's going to think that it should be asleep. And so this is just something to look out for and to schedule a little bit better when you're thinking about how to take your exams. The second mistake I see people commonly making is not eating a full meal or some kind of snack before the exam. Because the worst thing that can happen during the middle of your exam is that you're hungry and you feel tired and it's another thing on your mind. And plus, you never really know how long your exam might last. So for myself, before an exam, I try to make sure I eat a full meal, something with a lot of protein, so that way I can keep my energy up during the entirety of the exam. The third mistake that I see people making is either getting too much or too little caffeine. Whether you like coffee or energy drinks, if you have too much caffeine, you're most likely going to get the jitters before an exam. So I like to think of coffee and energy drinks like a drug. So you probably know that when you're taking a pain reliever for a headache or a nasal decongestant when you get a cold, that it takes a few minutes, maybe up to 30 minutes to kick in, and it may only last 4 to 6 hours. So that's how I feel about coffee, and I usually try to time my coffee so that I get the maximal effects during the time of my exam. I see this mistake most commonly with people who have night exams, where maybe they'll drink some coffee at 3 o'clock at night, but their exam's at 6 o'clock, and by the time 6 o'clock has rolled around, they felt the full effects of the caffeine and they've begun crashing. The fourth mistake I see people make is not knowing where the exam is or not giving themselves ample enough time to get to the exam location. Now I think the worst thing that can happen is you're on your way to an exam and you think you're going to be late or you have no idea where it is. And I just think that that's extra stress and that's unnecessary stress and completely preventable. So if you're one of those people who you notice that you're always worried whether or not you're going to show up on time, maybe leave 20 or 30 minutes extra, and that way it'll be one less thing to worry about. So the fifth mistake I see people making is letting other people get into their heads. So usually when you're walking towards an exam, you'll see all your old classmates again. And being a high stress situation, you're gonna see other people stressing out a lot. There's gonna be people who are reciting stuff that you're gonna be like, when do we even learn that? And then you're gonna see people who are just freaking out because they don't know stuff. Either way, that kind of negative stress is contagious, and that's not something that you want to let affect you. So there's 2 solutions to this. One is if you have friends in the class, I always find it nice to walk to class with people who are in the same mindset and who just, get me into a relaxed mood before the exam. The second solution is to just wear a pair of headphones, listen to your music, and just ignore all the other outside noise. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.